all new. AM1150WTMP.com.
Facebook is live, so talk to Facebook.
Welcome
Gabriel.
to Facebook. This is Gabriel Phillips, and we're on Porch Talk, but you're on Facebook. Welcome. Make sure and like our video and share it with all of your best of friends. Share it to your regular feed.
Right.
And
All
like
right.
it. Come on, Miss
All
Reddy.
right. Okay. Saturday. Again, we're here.
Live.
Porch Talk Radio. We're doing what we do every Saturday at 1 o'clock in Tampa Bay. We're glad to have you with us. And, before we get started on the show this week, I just want to make sure, I comment on the fact, last week it was a heated show.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different show than all the other shows. Matter of fact, some people, I got a bunch of calls after the show last week, and a lot of people didn't expect it to be the kind of show. They was expecting a different kind of show.
You did awesome, Eddie.
From us than we
All you
did.
guys.
So I'm gonna say to you, thank you for listening. And our first 3 or 4 callers were white. I didn't expect that. So they felt comfortable enough to call the show and add their comments to what we were doing. So again, this is a different show in that we have a huge audience, and we got people from all over.
One show again.
All over this part of the state, cause we got people calling from Sarasota, from Clearwater, from St. Pete, and again, black, white, Hispanic. We got a little bit of everybody who participates with this show. So again, and like I said, I've said this in the past, and I want you guys to understand. If I say something that offends you, it is not my problem. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's the nature of the show. So I expect every now and then to make some people uncomfortable. It's the nature of the show. This is not like a shock jock kind of show.
Quiet wallflower.
It's not a shock jock kind of show, but it is a show that's going to bring you some information, and give you some opportunities, and for the benefit of the community, it's to help push us, forward. This is how we move forward. This is how we get out of the funk we in sometimes. And again, folks who listen to this show on a regular basis, that's why they listen to it. It's not the same regular kind of show that you're going to get all day here on TMP. So, with that being said, I guess let's just start the show.
Shall we start with our wonderful guest before the fireworks hit?
Nope.
Okay.
Let me open the show.
Okay, making sure. There's people want to call right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know they do. And last week I forgot to say this too. I had about 10 people try to call me during the show last week, even after I had said do not call during the show because I cannot take the call. I can't do I know it's a lot of people who have capacities to multitask. I'm not one of them. I can't talk to, a couple 100,000 people and talk to you on the telephone at the same time. Can't do it. It's going to get kind of mixed up and confusing. So for those who call my cell phone during the show, you got to wait till after the show's over.
There you go.
Every now and then I may be able to look at a text, but I can't do that on a regular basis. So for all of you folks who want to call in during the show, Porch Talk Radio, it is a call-in show. So the nature of the show is if you call in, long as you're not calling in with some negative crap, and you're trying to, mess with our flow, we'll let you talk.
No flow messing.
If you're trying to mess with our flow, again, at the end of the day, this is not the show to do that.
Yeah.
So if you here to help and make things better, we'll listen to you. We'll listen to you. But if not, again, all the regulars understand how we do this. So that being said, if you want to call in during the show, the call-in number here for WTMP, 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. That'll get you on the show. If you want to call me after the show or sometime during the week because something is going on and you want me to know about it or you want to inform me, my cell phone, Eddie Adams Jr. cell phone number is 813-212.
Call now.
No, don't call now. 813-212. See, there you go. See, you're always doing that. You got some folks out there calling.
Tell them your Facebook. I hear the app is crashing.
Well, okay, Facebook.
Well,
Porch Talk Radio.com. And then my Facebook, we got Porch Talk Radio on Facebook. and we got Facebook Live. So we're trying to get everything covered. So
that's right.
So
we bring the truth to you in so many different ways. It's like bologna. Don't matter how you slice it, it's all good.
It's still bologna.
Anyway.
Okay. All right. So everything is out there, and what we're gonna do, back in the old days, see, this is what people didn't understand. You know how you did a thesis, how you did a report of what you do. You tell folks what you're going to tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Then you tell them.
Mm-hmm. And then
you tell them what you told them.
Oh,
that's how
sink
you.
in.
That's how you do a report.
Get it to sink in.
That's how it works. So I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do here today.
Strategy.
Okay, we got a guest, and from what I gathered from all reports, who had a debate last night, and basically kicked booty.
She's leading.
You know. No, so you can't tell at this point. I tell folks, I tell politicians, you only know when you're gonna win or lose on election day, because it's a lot of polls. Depends on who pay for the poll, who the poll's gonna tell you winning, losing, and doing all that kind of other stuff. At the end of the day, because I had a lot of folks. Now, if you all remember, and this show is not gonna be about Trump, but you know, Trump was losing 9 o'clock. Election night, you know, folks were still saying, "Oh, he can't win, he can't win, he can't win." I'm just telling you what polls say. I'm just telling you, you know. So at the end of the day, don't believe that you know at the end of the election who won and who lost. You know, when those numbers show up, you know, you either get mad or you kick the dog or throw the cat or whatever it is you do. You know, but that's how things work.
Radio's not promoting that at this time.
No, it's not. I'm just saying that's what people do.
Our waiver.
You know, so anyway.
Disclaimer.
Everybody in Tampa Bay, if you've not heard, if you've not seen, if you've not been a part, there's a new movement for a school board. Hillsborough County School Board, there's a candidate. She's been working her butt off. She's doing the right things. And part of what she's been doing is getting involved. So I'm telling you, you know, don't take it from me. Take your time, energy, effort, and find out who Selena Ward is. Find out as much about it as you can, and then make up your own mind. And that's what I tell folks all the time. But this is different because when we are dealing with issues like what's happening right now in Hillsborough County school system, we just got to make some changes. We got to do something different, and a lot of folks say that all the time. But this is more than just a plea. This is a cry, and we don't want something in the system to happen before we make some changes. And that's what elections all about. I hear everybody talking about all this stuff and all this controversy we're going through. But at the end of the day, they say vote, 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 vote. Well, part of voting is knowing who the hell you're voting for. You don't go and vote and don't know who those people are.
I have been there a few times. You got all these names. You go, who in the world?
Right.
Well, that's a nice name. I'll go, yeah. That, I don't like that name. That's a no. That's stupid.
Very seldom do I go to the election vote, and I vote in every election. I vote in every election that I can vote in, living in Temple Terrace. So I don't live in Tampa. I live in Temple Terrace. So every election that I can vote in, I know everybody on the ballot.
Okay.
The judges, you know, the school board members, the city council people, you know, the mayor, the governor, you know, all those people, because I am a politico. You know, it is part of what I do to be informed, at least have an idea of when I put my X check mark or whatever it is, you know, color that little dark spot on the ballot beside somebody's name. I know who they are. And you should take that time, that energy, that effort to understand yourself. So without further ado, I am going to introduce to some, reintroduce to others, you know, a great person who's on the docket, going to be involved with our system from now on. This is just the beginning. This is a person.
Well,
this is a new face. This is a new face. Because see, what I've been crying for 10 years, and for folks who listen to this show understand, I've been saying we need to get some new blood, because we just constantly keep recycling the old prawns, especially in the black community. We don't get very many new faces. Well, we got a new face, and it's here, and I'm going to let her speak a little bit for herself. Selena, welcome to Porch Talk Radio.
Well, first of all, thank you so much to both of you for having me here. I always appreciate being here with you, and it's just an honor to be here to speak with you. Yes, I'm a new face that's not going anywhere.
There you go.
I hope never to become an old face, but
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. Getting old is better than the alternative.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
just
right.
saying.
You're absolutely right. But I am Selena Ward, and I am running to be your next elected school board District 5 representative. And I am excited and full of energy about this race. And I'm here. Eddie gave the number, and I want to give it again, 813-251-9867, because like he said, this is a call-in show. And if you don't know this about me already, there's one thing that you need to know, is that I love hearing from you. I love the tough questions. I want to hear your concerns, because I work for you. This job is not about me. It's not about a couple of people. It's about District 5. It's actually about the whole county of Hillsborough. So I want to be your representative. I will be your representative that represents not a small few, but the entire District 5 and the entire community, because I plan to work for our town, our great city.
Prior military, right?
Prior military. So yes, I am a mother of 3. I have a daughter that is 17, a daughter that is 16, and an 11-year-old son. Hi, y'all. I know you're out there listening. I am married to Curtis Ward, who has served over 20 years, almost 25 years in the military. He has some good news coming up, but he will hit me if I tell. Not
You
that
don't look that bad for wear.
Not that I condone that. Not that we condone that. But he would be very upset with me if I told his good news right now. But I'm going to tell it soon, so don't worry about that. But
Okay.
he has served. He served in the United States military, U.S. Army, for over 20 years. And I too am a veteran. I served 6 years. I am actually the first female in my family to serve, along with all of my great grandfathers from
Wow.
World War I,
Some
Korea,
legacy thing.
Vietnam. Yes, the first female, and I'm pegging one of my children to serve as well. So we're a military family, and I'm a former educator, as many of you know. Now, there was a little confusion about that last night, so let me clear that up. So I was a former educator. I taught in California, and a lot of questions came up last night was, why did she stop teaching? You know, a lot of people don't understand the sacrifices that you have to make when you're a military family. And I say this, and I hope I don't upset you, because my husband is in the room. My husband was sent to the Iraq conflict, and I had 2 babies under 2. I think Madison was, she was less than 6 months old, and then Johnny was 20 months old. They're 14 months apart. 2 babies under 2. And he went from Iraq to Afghanistan to Kuwait. And that was over a 4-year time period. So I did take a break there to raise our children. I have a running joke that he came home then, and then I ended up pregnant with my son, and he left again. He went to Europe.
His work was done.
Okay. We're not gonna throw in any questionable behavior here.
No.
You know, we're just gonna eliminate that possibility.
So, but that clears up. The break of me not being full time in the classroom. But here's the good thing, District 5. I never stopped substitute teaching. I was always in the school system from whatever county I lived in. If it was Compton, California, if it was Atlanta, Georgia, I was in the classroom. And now here in Tampa, Florida, I've been in the classroom as a substitute teacher because I have a love for education. So even during those times when I was a married single mom, I was still in the classroom.
All right, now we got a caller. So welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this Saturday afternoon. You're our first caller of the day. I know that you've been waiting for a little while, so we'll go ahead and try to get you in, and then Selena will continue. Porch Talk Radio this Saturday afternoon. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
Hi, hello?
Yes.
My name is Karen Peoples,
Yes, ma'am.
and I'm calling in reference to the school board. And I wanted to say thank you, Selena, for being on the show today. But I also want to give to everyone, please come out. There's going to be a school board meeting. The school and the children are very important to the community, and we need to find out what's really going on. There's a school board meeting on the 9th, Tuesday, at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
I'm asking everyone to please, if they can, to come out and be a part of the meeting. We have a new superintendent, and what I'm trying to aim for is that we have family full service programs that's at the Delilah Sanchez building behind Lee Davis. And I need these people to understand that we need this resource center to continue to be a entity to the community in reference to not slashing this. This is what the superintendent is doing. We have Miss Delilah Sanders, we have Miss Johnson, we have Miss Crystal, and we have Miss Simmons, Miss Ava Simmons, that we need these ladies to continue to keep this program going. I have been taking community single-parent mothers out to this program and getting extra help. But we cannot go forward with the program without the program due to the fact that this program is a great tool to the community to help the single parents and help parents that's not even single, but to help with the children. It has a lot of resources. We need this, so I'm asking everybody not to be holding up the program, but I do want everybody to be able to come out to this meeting and be a voice in the community in reference to fighting for this resource center family full service program that
Thank
we
you.
can have this resource here. Thank you so much for allowing me to take this
Thank
time.
you very much for the call.
Take care. Mr.
Okay, we
God
got
bless
another caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this Saturday afternoon. Who are you? Where you calling from, and what say you? Hello?
Hey, okay, Brother Eddie, this is Brother Jarvis calling. Really enjoy your show. I want to, first of all, give a shout out to the Bianca Gooseby and Miss April Cobb for putting together such a beautiful virtual forum, school board forum, last night. It was a lot of fireworks. It was on and popping. It was great. I want to give props to all of the candidates, but I want to specifically give props to your guest, Selena Ward. She was on her top game, man. I'm telling you, she really, they said new room, sweet clean. She really brought another perspective and another energy. But I want to ask her a question that I think that she needs to answer.
Go ahead.
What is clearly the role of a school board member? Okay, we heard on the show, oh, it's a policy, oh, it's a this, oh, it's for the budget, oh, it's for the kind of, oh, do this. I would like to know from your perspective, since you're a new room, sweet and clean, what's your perspective on the role of a school board member? I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Jarvis.
Thank you, Jarvis.
Yeah, Jarvis, thank you so much for that question. And yes, if you were listening last night, we did receive a lot of answers that talks about policy making. Yes, policy making, budget, all of that is part of it. But the main job of a school board member is to advocate for the students. You have to advocate for the students. You are the representative of the students, the parents. You have to be there for them first. Let's be honest, we can hire an accountant to look at the budget. And policy is only as good as it can be if it's for the students. So your job is to be on that ground and understanding the issues of the community and the students and advocating for that. That advocation goes with policy making. That advocation goes with budget funding and deciding where money's spent. But the first thing is advocating for the students. That is the first job of a school board member.
Well, thank you for that. Now, what I'm gonna say, some folks who understand how the school board works are people who they have pretty much complained to me. Well, you got school board members who don't understand the schools, have never been to the schools in their district, who don't, know the kids, don't know the teachers, don't even know who the principals are. Okay, those are people who get elected and they're in a position and they're a politician. They're really not people who are serving the community. And what I'm going to tell you, what I know about Selena, that's not what she's going to do. And one of the first things she's probably going to do, if she hasn't already done it, is make herself familiar with all the schools in her district.
Yes. Oh, man, Eddie, I'm over here. You guys, unless you're watching on Facebook, you can't see me. I get excited about things. That is the first thing that I did. See, last night we were talking, there was a question that was asked, and it said, what will you do about visiting the schools? And I said, hey, I'm not visiting the schools. I'm working at the schools. And I'm working at the schools because I want to see. I want to help. I want to be a part of the change. So the first thing that I did is I started making sure that I was working at every one of those schools. Now, COVID slowed me down, so I didn't make it to all of them. But I made sure to choose different schools, and achievement schools was my first priority because people didn't want to be there. So not only am I visiting the schools, I'm working in the schools. Now, Eddie, you're leading me to something. I have a 90-day plan. Now, I'm not going to release it all. I'm going to have to tease you with it. And I've also learned that I've heard this before, but the best form of flattery is imitation. So I have to be careful with what I say. If I say it too quick, or it'll be,
somebody that's been stole it.
Yeah, I learned that real quick. So I have a 90-day plan, and in my 90-day plan, it involves engagement. And like you said, visiting the schools is very important. I don't even have that in my plan because that's really what I'm going to do anyway. But we'll just go ahead and clarify that. But the first thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that everyone understands that I am accessible. So the first part of my 90-day plan is being accessible. And by being accessible, I plan on holding a monthly meeting. You have the public forum at the school board meeting. I do not plan to be sitting on the dais District 5 hearing from you the first time at that school board meeting. We're going to have our public forum monthly, and I'm going to give you your 2 months to talk directly to me so I can then understand what your concerns are. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 task force, and all those task force will have different initiatives. One task force is going to be a teacher task force, where we're going to have a round table where select teachers come together and we talk about issues. Now, we'll rotate these task force with different people because there's different views. And the second task force that I'm going to create is going to be a staff task force. Staff is very important to me. As many of you know, I grew up, my grandmother, 30 years, the high school custodian. So I want to hear from the staff. That's going to include from nutrition to teachers' aides to custodians, anyone that is considered staff. The third task force is going to be a community combo task force that will include elected officials, community members, parents, and a teacher, administrator, and a staff member. Then we all can sit together and talk about things. We're going to have those meetings every 60 days. So then once we've heard from the public, we can come together and talk about what we believe we need to do. And then when I go back to the board, I am not speaking on my opinion. I am speaking on your thoughts and your concerns because I need to be able to articulate your needs. That is very important that I know your needs. And the last thing on this first part of my 90-day plan is accountability. And guess who the accountability is for? It's for me. Every quarter, District 5, you will receive a survey to rate me. You will not have to talk about that you're not happy with me, at the kitchen table. You're going to tell me because I can't improve. I'll never claim to be perfect. I can't improve unless I know what you need. Now, of course, I'll never make everyone happy. I'm an adult. I understand that. But there are some things that I need to hear from you. The only way that I can improve is if I hold myself accountable. So you'll be receiving a survey. That is the first stage of my 90-day plan.
All right. Now, I got a good friend who's a politico who understands sometimes if they text me, I can get in their questions. So he asked me, is she a Republican? So I knew the answer to that question, but I wanted to come from you. So
the first thing I want to say is, let's be clear. This is a nonpartisan race. That's the first thing. But if you Google me, you're going to say that it's going to show that I'm a registered Democrat. It shows that. But this is a non-party race. And we need to stop putting so much of the party in education. This is about our children. It's nonpartisan for a reason. And stop looking at the party. Stop trying to figure out if I'm conservative or if I'm liberal. And at what my concerns are when it comes to the issues and how I want to address them. It is a nonpartisan race.
And the good thing about it too, we got too many people who we elect, and say the Democrat, Republican, and the power base and this and that, and our children are getting crap for representation and getting crap, and they're upset with the system, and they getting crap, and now they got a bunch of money, and at the end of the day, the primary concern should be from the public, and like I always say, how we gonna move the community forward is to get somebody in there that's actually concerned about your kids. My daughter went to private school the whole time. She was here. My son's was in Bartow, so I don't have anybody that's been in the system here. But I wish I would have had someone who had their outlook, who had their future, who had their inner feelings, involved, and could look at somebody. Now, again, everybody who know me know that I have supported Sally Harris, and Sally Harris has been a good friend.
Very nice lady.
Selena is a good friend, so I'm going to support Selena in any way I can. And the good thing about Porch Talk Radio, we've been around for 10 years. So we've seen a lot of people come and a lot of people go. And this is about us, the community. And I would not be here, I guess, endorsing and telling you, that this person is someone who's going to do good by the community, because that's how I feel. Now, history is a great 2020 visionary. After it's done,
Sure.
Folks come and say, oh, you was right or you were wrong, because the history allows you to do that. But at the end of the day, from what I see, and part of it is she asked me. There's a lot of people in politics at the end of the day say, oh, well, why didn't you help this person? Why you didn't help that person? Okay, first of all, they got to ask. They got to get off their butt. They know the platform is here. They either listen to the show or they don't listen to the show, And if somebody come and say, Eddie, can I come on your show? My answer has always been yes. Can you help me? Well, I got to sit down and meet with you and talk with you and have a conversation and see if we believe in some of the same things. When I did that with this young lady, I left that meeting. I said, well, we believe in many of the same things. Now, everybody say, oh, but Eddie's a Republican, Eddie's conservative, Eddie's this, Eddie's that. And anybody who listens to this show understand that I put this community first. I am about the community, how we move the black community in Tampa forward. And I say that, and I don't say that unabashedly. I say that, without no regrets whatsoever, because that's who I am,
Eddie, I hear you running circles with what Selena started out with, is that the party name doesn't mean as much as principles, standards,
Correct.
and just morals. And if you just looked at the basics right there, she's a principled person, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I've done, and I'm going to do this.
Right.
And I've got the history to show it. Okay, now we got somebody with a history.
Yeah.
You can say, well, okay, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Want somebody, they're going to tell us up front, this is what I'm going after, and you're going to watch it. You're going to watch this unfold, and I'm going to give you a timeline.
Yes.
I should be pretty close. I'm going to do my best to stick to it, but it's going to happen. So when we're talking to people, and Eddie, whether we are Democrat or Republican, when it comes to just someone that has some principles we can work with, some standards, okay, we know what they are. We need that in our community, whether they're Hispanic, whether they're black, someone that has the principles that we can all follow and help our people, our community in general. That's the big plus. Now, if we want to debate little piddly stuff, sure. If you want to call that little stuff, big stuff, that's a separate discussion.
Opinion.
But when it comes to making sure the kids are eating in school, making sure they've got good teachers in school, making
That's
sure
right.
hopefully they have air conditioning in schools. I don't know why we don't have air conditioning in Florida.
So-
It's the worst place to not have air conditioning. We got some principles, we got functional facilities for them to go into, and they're being taught. There's a lesson to be taught, and all of them are on the same page on the teaching. That's a lot behind the scenes stuff that Selena has the patience, God bless you, to chase after all this to get it all done. So the end result is for all of us in the community seeing our kids coming out that can go get a job, they can fill out a job application, and they can move on into college if that's where they're going. But now they know how to they have the basics in place because somebody with principles was there to teach them.
That's right. And if you follow me, you'll see that I'm everywhere. And I have all kinds of friends. So I will go on different radio shows. I'll go speak at different events because this is about our children. Never once have I been in a class teaching children and I said, dropped down to them and said, do you know your party affiliation?
Oh.
I've never done that. I am there for the children. This is about let's work together. This is about the children. And that's who I'm focused on, the children.
And one other thing too, I'm gonna add why while we have here, and we're talking about associations, you know, and I don't mean this to be plus or minus. I'm just saying, you know, she's also AKA. So me being an alpha, you know, those are our sisters. Even though she's married to a Q, and we won't. We won't hold that against him.
Threw
But
the hook up, by the
you
way.
know,
Repent.
you know, so you know, we all friends here, and
Yes.
the thing that, you know, a lot of folks, you know, have to remember is anybody who's in a black fraternity or black sorority, most of those people are college educated. And a lot of those people are in great places within our society, and great places within our community. And there's a brotherhood or a sisterhood there, you know, that goes beyond what most common people, and I don't mean it the way it sounds, but most common people say and feel about each other. So there's a group of folks that's willing to help, willing to get involved, and sometimes they're just a phone call or a conversation away. So again, you know, there's pluses and minuses to go with it. And I'm like this, you know, every Greek letter mail organization out there, all of us have something in common. And that's a big brotherhood there. That's a huge, within the black community, that's a huge brotherhood. Kappas, Qs, you know, Sigmas, you know, and a couple new fraternities that kind of got started, you know, after I went over back in 1971, you know, but again,
1971?
yeah.
I wasn't born.
I was.
So what I'm saying is, you know, there's a whole group and a whole, you know, ism of power
There's
and
camaraderie.
forces and stuff there, you know, that when we have to come together, we do as a community.
Yeah, and that is one group, but also there's another group for me, and it's the mothers. You know, being a mom and being somewhere, you know, in the grocery store, if I'm at the Publix on Hillsborough, when I first moved here, I found out so much information in the grocery store just with seeing another mom, you know, pushing a child, because my son at that point, he was 2, seeing a child, a mom with a 2-year-old, I could talk to her. So there's so many different connections that we have, and so many things that makes us more relatable and more a family unit than we even realize. And I just hope that many of you out there take the time to get to know me. And this is a way to get to know me. Call me, 813-444-5872. Now, some of you are saying you should call me, I shouldn't call you. You're running. You're absolutely right, but I may not have your phone number.
Details, always the details.
813-444-5872. I don't turn down phone calls. I may have to call you back because after yesterday, my phone has been ringing a lot. But I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. You know, I have a lot of similarities that people don't realize, you know, how I grew up. You know, some of my own personal struggles, you know, some of those things. Once I sit down with people and I have conversations, they're like, wow, you get it. You're approachable. I didn't know that. And I'm like, well, you know, I don't have a sign saying it. But, you know, once you get to know me, you see that we all are in this together. And that's one of the things I've been saying. Let's work together because we are facing a lot of the same things when it comes to raising our children. When it comes to day-to-day life and this whole education thing, it's a lot. And we need to support each other and be there for each other. And I want to be there for you.
All right. So normally, you know, about this time on Porch Talk Radio, you know, we would change topics and do something else. But, you know, but Selena has the option. So if she want to hang around with us for the second part of the show,
And
you
just
know,
be quiet and pray for us.
you got the option to hang around and hang out with us, you know. So
That sounds scary. I don't know. I'm waiting it out.
Yeah. So we're gonna let Gabriel have a couple of seconds here to get his 2 cents in, and then we're gonna do on this day, and then we're gonna kind of roll around another topic and see how that goes. All right.
You know,
I'll hang as long as I can.
there
Okay.
you go.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
You know,
and
folks,
Facebook, we got Facebook Live
we're
too. So.
Make sure and like us on Facebook, please, and share it with all your friends and family. The #1 rated show in Tampa Bay with this radio station. Again, that's just the way we roll. We're always up at the top everywhere we've gone. Isn't that right, Eddie?
We always do.
Many years. Well, folks, it's been an interesting week, and it's been kind of a, you know, that pendulum swings to one extreme to another. I deal with a lot of people on a regular basis, and sometimes some dealing with depression, anger, rage, and I have to tell them, where's your energy coming from? And if they tell me the news, I got to be honest, tell them, cut it off. Open up your Bible. You got to just step away from it, folks. You've got to just make the decision that nothing is happening that God didn't have a plan in the first place. Now, the more you watch something, the more you get sucked into it, the more you become a part of the problem that you wish everybody else was not, and nobody is helped. Social injustice has been the latest weapon thrown out there, and as we watch the TV, you do see it's mainly just the angry people wanting to apply it at will, and that's not good for anybody. It doesn't matter what the color is. So keep in your wits. Talk to your neighbors, like we do the Porch Talk Radio here. Just go talk to your neighbor. Say, hey, you doing all right? You need anything? Can I help you? Sometimes, folks, you just have to just get simple with all of this. Systemic injustice is the next key phrase. It's out. And all the politicians that have been keeping it alive and well for 50 years or more are now wanting to give advice. I don't think that's such a great idea. So as you kind of pull back and realize it's 2020, just an election year. Whether it was COVID, which went by the wayside because suddenly looters and rioters bypassed it and said, screw it, who cares? And they're still alive, and they haven't been pulling out bodies of them, white and black. So at this point, the COVID thing, you begin to realize you're wearing that mask going, did this really happen? They still have a lot of fashion masks out for that, but that's another thing. So folks, just keeping a perspective. Where are you? Where are you with your family? It's a voting year. The jobs are beginning to return back to most of the areas in our country. The jobs numbers are coming in, and for the month of May, it was explosive in a good way. So in spite of what you hear, in spite of what you feel, sometimes you got to back away, see where you are, and then go talk to a neighbor, pull out the Bible to make sense of it all. That's it for me.
Selena is sneaking out. Bye-bye.
All right, wait.
Oh!
Wait before you go.
Not
You gotta say your website.
Contact.
Oh, yes.
See, and how they can give you some money, you know,
Yes,
and
yes.
volunteer.
See, I didn't want to
Ain't
interrupt.
nothing free.
Yes.
You
Ain't nothing
forgot all that
Yes,
stuff. So
yes,
make sure
and
they
Eddie
know.
always keeps me correct.
There you
My
go.
name is Selena Ward. I am running for School Board District 5. Please follow me on Facebook. Selena Ward for School Board is where you can find me. My website is www.voteselenaward.com. Selena is spelled SELENAWARD. And my phone number is 813-444-5872. And you can email me at selena@voteselenaward.com. Once again, this is on Facebook. You can go to my Facebook and you can see the information. But www.voteselenaward.com. Thank you so much, Gabriel and Eddie, for having me, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
God bless
Have
America.
a good one.
You too.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
All right.
It's raining all day. The day is miserable, but you know,
We've got the umbrella.
when people
Somebody
got stuff
umbrella?
to do, they get it done.
There you go.
All right. Thank you
Thank you, guys. God bless.
spending the afternoon with us. So
All righty, come on.
that's a good point. On this day,
Oh man.
this was one of those days because you know I try to keep it to 3 or 4. You know, it was just so much happening on this day in history. You know that it just became difficult, and you'll see what I'm talking about because on this day, June the 6th, in 1844, the Young Men Christian Association was founded in London. And for those who don't know what the Young Men Christian Association means and what the letters stand for, YMCA.
And we're not going to dance it.
No, we don't. But I'm just saying, you know. And also
Do
on
it
this
back,
day,
guys,
June the 6th, in 1882, the first electric iron was patented by H.W. Seeley. So that iron, what your mom, you know, irons other people's clothes with, irons your clothes with, you know, because my mom was a domestic servant, you know, for a number of years.
They must have been pretty strong back then, Eddie.
No, I mean, she
Just
was-
straight juice into those. I bet you back in the day, they'd burn the heck out of clothes.
No, what they used to do is they used to take a wet cloth,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't have irons that had steam. So what they would do, they would kind of wipe it with the wet cloth, and then iron over it. So again, you know, it's come
There
a
we
long
go.
way. You know. Anyway, on this day, that's a little bit of history.
Yeah.
On this day, on June the 6th, in 1925, Chrysler Corporation was founded by Walter Pursley Chrysler.
1925.
Pursley. Chrysler. Yeah, 1925.
And the cars are still crap.
Yeah, they well, everybody say Chrysler always had good motors. So it depends on what you're looking for in a car. All right. On this day, June the 6th, in 1942, Japan forces retreat in the World War II Battle of Midway. So the Battle of Midway. The battle began on June the 4th. On this day, June the 6th, in 1944, D-Day, invasion of Europe, took place on the beaches of Normandy. French, on Normandy, France. 400,000 Allied American, British, and Canadian troops were involved. On this day, June the 6th, in 1946, Basketball Association of America was formed in New York City, New York.
NBA.
Yeah.
Now it's out of China, isn't it? Owned by China? Oh, never mind. Side note.
And on this day, again, I know we got more than we normally have, but it's just so much stuff happened on this day. And there's still a lot of stuff I left out. On this day in 1968, U.S. Senator Robert F. Kennedy died at 1:44 a.m. in Los Angeles after being shot by Sirhan Sirhan.
I swear our nation was just down.
Yeah,
Down.
Kennedy was shot in the evening before while campaigning for the Democratic presidential nomination. So it's a lot of stuff that went on, on this day in history.
Goodness.
So
Big stuff.
now this is gonna be a different kind of a conversation because everybody has been talking about George Floyd, and they had the funeral service yesterday. Now,
One of them, right?
They
have another next week.
Yeah, they got 3.
Yeah.
By the time everything is said and done. So I'm gonna give you another way to look at it. Because somebody asked me about this, I had a conversation about this, so I'm just gonna share it with you for a couple of minutes. George Floyd's mother is deceased, and she's been dead for several years. Now, I've been told that there's several worlds, but one of the worlds is the spirit world. And I was told by a young man, well, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The Trinity, those are spirits. So if you believe in Christianity, then you believe in spirits. I'm just saying because they brought it down right to, I don't know how many of you older people from Tampa remember Mr. Gideon. Mr. Gideon was the root man. And I'm just saying, when I came to Tampa in 1971, I met Mr. Gideon. Mr. Gideon was in his 70s or 80s then, but I had conversation with him, and we talked about stuff, and he opened my eyes to a whole bunch of stuff. So anyway, the conversation manifested itself in that as you approach death, a lot of folks would say, go to the light, don't go to the light, all that kind of stuff. People who
if it's green, go.
people who believe in a spiritual world, somebody said to me, his mother was calling him, or he got called from his mother. That's why he was calling his mother's name.
Okay.
So again, I'm just saying, it's out there, and it's part of the conversation that his mother, was calling him from beyond. So now that may sound some kind of way to some kind of people. And another thing that question and have had conversation over the last week was, I've worked in the hospital for 20-something years, and I have seen and in the emergency room, folks come in with all kind of conditions. You name it, I've probably seen it. So what I don't understand, and some people who have been sick for a while, they have what's called a DNR, a do not resuscitate.
Okay.
But usually, when the fire rescue paramedics end up at a site somewhere out there in the world, away from the hospital, they have resuscitation. They have those bags that they put on your face to pump. They even have the portable chest compression pumps. When they arrived at the scene, I'm not trying to make you feel good or bad
You're
about
opening up a door here, Eddie, because I think I know where you're going.
About what I saw. But those guys came, did a pulse, said he was basically dead. they checked the pulse and put him on the gurney and then put him in the ambulance. I did not see them on the spot try to do any compressions. I didn't see him trying to pump in the air because he died there. And sometimes people come back. I've seen people shot. I've seen people stabbed. I've seen people with 3-inch nails in the top of their head, in their brain, who have come back. And they did not try to do anything to resuscitate George Floyd. That's one of the things that kind of upset me. I didn't see them try to bring him back. They did nothing. They pretty much said, okay, he's dead, see you. And this all happened within 8 minutes. I've seen people laying dead, for 20 minutes. I hate to say it. A lot of people may not believe that.
Right.
But, 10, 20 minutes, without air, without anything happening, and come back. So
Eddie, the video, watching that video closely, 4 men jumped out of the back of that ambulance.
yeah.
But they were not EMT, Eddie. They were police because they all had guns and they had the bulletproof vest. They jumped out of that ambulance. I didn't see them check him. I just saw him turn his head sideways, just haul him off in the stretcher, and they were gone.
I saw him check for a pulse.
I don't know.
Right.
And the fact that Floyd and this guy, policeman, were 17 years working in a club together, friends as bouncers, okay. But then when the ambulance showed up, those were not the paramedics. There were cops that jumped out, 4 of them that jumped out. You said they checked the pulse. I didn't catch that. They just threw the body on board and quickly hauled it out of there.
And
So
see,
there might be more going on, Eddie. I don't know, but it didn't look right to me.
that's what I'm saying.
And I'm not going into the BS there. I'm just, but it didn't look right because usually it's the EMT guys. They come out. You're right. They do
they try
resuscitate.
Right. They try
blah,
to bring
blah,
you
blah.
back. They make some effort.
But what didn't happen?
And that's what people.
I don't know
with
why.
3 or 4 bullets in them. I've seen them try to resuscitate folks, and they
So that
not
was
gonna
weird to me.
put their mouth on the other mouth because they got their bag. They got those bags in the truck where you pump, oxygen into a body. Put that thing on the face, press it to the face, and you start pumping. And then if you didn't want to pump on his chest, again they got machines that they put you. They put you on a flat board, put you on your back, and they try to bring you back. My issue is that for some reason or another, I didn't see an effort to bring this man back.
No. And again, I saw that there were 4 police that jumped out of the back of that ambulance, quickly hauled him off, and that was it. Done. There was nothing. The regular EMTs were not a part of that picking up the body thing. That was really weird to me, and I was like, why isn't anybody else questioning this?
Yeah, see that's what I'm saying. So I got a couple. I've had this conversation through the course of the week, and I've talked with a couple people. That's why I get my number out. For things that people may not be able to call during the show and have discussions about. Like I say, and I've said many times on this show, common sense ain't common anymore.
No, and again, what you see is not always what it is.
Yeah.
But to see 4 cops jump out of an ambulance just have me riding around town at random and I don't know, Eddie.
What like I'm saying, there's a normal procedure. No matter what happened, when you get to the site, you do an assessment, you do an evaluation of the predicament. This person is somebody who everybody pretty much saw die. So we know how he died. And again, we know, give or take, that this man had his knee on this guy's neck for 9 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah.
9 minutes and 40 seconds. Almost whatever, almost 10 minutes. Whatever that time period is, what happened. So I expected, when the EMT got there, that somebody was gonna get up, put a flat
If it would have been EMT, yes.
Put a flat board under his back. Start chest compressions. Make every effort to bring him back, as opposed to putting him on the gurney, load him up, and stick him in the back of the truck.
Eddie,
I'm just saying something about that whole, process didn't look right to me.
I'll tell you what's even worse. If all of you have ever started a new job somewhere, and within a few days you find yourself at the wrong place at the wrong time, and suddenly you're fired. There was 4 men involved with that, and one of them had the actual knee. And they actually had many complaints already about him.
Right.
For doing similar stuff.
Yeah.
And again, it was just because it was a Democratic mayor and a Democratic police chief and a Democratic state. Seems to be the worst of minorities. But all right, fine. The 3 guys that were with him, Eddie, they had just been on that job 3 days. They were rookies, fresh out of school, and they were told to observe. I'm the expert. I'm the trainer.
Wow.
You observe, they're in jail. You're talking about being at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's not giving them a pass, but I'm just saying, that's kind of shitty.
I'm not being racist about it, but I posted the video on my Facebook page. So
That's not racist.
Eddie Adams Facebook. The Oriental looking police officers, it was one Oriental looking, who were talking with people in the crowd that was standing around saying, do something, he's dead, he's dying, and he's having conversation where the three guys who was physically restraining, because one was in...
There were two in the back you couldn't see.
Yeah, well, it was one
angle.
It was one in his back. It was one with his knee in his back, one with his knee on his legs, and one with his knee on his neck. So those three guys, pretty much, you take average of 200 pounds. That's 600 pounds on somebody, restraining them, restricting your chest movement, restricting blood flow, restricting everything.
Now, fentanyl, what does that do, Eddie?
Fentanyl speeds up your heart and causes it to beat faster.
But does it give you more strength?
No, it don't.
Okay.
It don't make you
I
stronger.
don't know that.
Adrenaline makes you stronger.
Right.
So again, at the end of the day,
that was one of the things that was in the system. I don't know what fentanyl does.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing about it. They went back and tried to make this guy look like a bad guy.
But he was.
He was not a bad guy.
He served prison a few times, yeah.
Well,
the fact at that point he packing a 20.
That wasn't what that was about. That was about power.
A 20 that he passed.
It was about power.
Yeah, the police went overboard completely. In fact, they've now, how do you say, voted out that they can no longer do that kind of hold.
Well,
I mean, it's after the fact.
It's supposed to have been outlawed a number of years ago. The fact that it wasn't, that's the thing. Who policed the police? Because at the end of the day, any of those guys could have and should have told that guy, take your knee off that guy's neck. Somebody could have did that.
Eddie, but do you think getting rid of the police department is going to help?
Well, no, I ain't said that. Don't put words in my mouth. Because at the end of the day, there's a place, but you got bad cops.
Yes,
and
I think they'll always be there.
And that becomes the issue.
They'll always be there, Eddie.
But no, they don't have to always be there because I'm going to tell you something.
You got more than people call this radio station right now and blow it up and say, yeah, I see.
But I'm going to tell you something. If people, some tell you, back in the olden days when they used to hang black folks, again, I know, I'm saying something, but see, black folks knew that they was hanging black folks, but what happened was they terrorized people. So if you was black and they hanging somebody for nothing, you make an issue of it. Guess what? The tree right next to that guy, or either on the same tree, you could be there. So that was the terrorizing factor that was involved. And that's why folks sit there and watched it. A lot of folks on the street saw this guy being murdered. Nobody said anything because guess what? They didn't want to get shot or they didn't want to get tasered. They didn't want to get involved, but they knew it was wrong. So it's not about a right and being right or being wrong. It's about having, courage, to stand up. And it should not be a courage thing when you're talking about something of that nature. You're talking about somebody getting murdered. It don't matter who's murdering the person. It don't matter.
Wrong is wrong, Eddie. You're right. Wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter the color of the skin. Wrong is wrong. And for everybody just to start video recording and not do anything about it, I think that's really stupid. Like, I want to put this on my Facebook and do a feed of it of somebody dying. Where's the society going now? Like, why don't you just go in there and get involved and say, hey, wait a minute, guys.
Well, I heard, the guy, the Oriental guy that was having the conversation, he was trying to explain to people what was doing and all this other stuff, and pretty much he didn't have a clue.
No, not at all.
Because he had his back turned to the guys who was actually doing stuff.
I bet you he was trying to explain what restraint means.
Well, at the end of the day, it didn't matter what he was saying because it didn't.
The guy's dead.
It didn't determine anything.
No.
It didn't determine anything. And again, he could have stopped it. Anybody could have stopped it. Now, if a citizen would have stopped it, then, it'd been a whole different kind of scenario. But one of those cops had to have had enough intestinal fortitude to understand, that we can't murder this guy on national TV without half the country burning down. See, they did not have, foresight as to
Yeah,
what
but that,
happened.
yeah, but that would require half a brain to go, why are we killing in the first place? And I think there was more involved because these two 17 years known each other, working in a club, they're probably mad at each other for some reason.
It was some personal thing.
Something personal.
And
it doesn't make it right.
Don't know what it was, but the issue became is something that couldn't be hid, no matter what the system is. Everybody talking about the systematic racism. Well, systematic racism has been around for a couple hundred years, and the number varies between 400 and 600 and however long ever since black folks been in this country. But the issue becomes now, what do we do? How do we make stuff better? How do we improve our condition in this country? And I think a big part of it is people may say, oh, well, they got looters and rioters and they was wrong and this and this and that. It ain't about being wrong. It's about being frustrated. It's about,
But that doesn't justify Eddie.
No, we ain't trying to justify it, but at the end of the day, it's about being frustrated. You know, if somebody picks on you, I'm just trying to use it. Somebody picks on you, they pick on you every day. At some point in time, your condition hasn't changed until you change it.
Right.
And when, like I said, the straw that broke the camel back, well, the straw broke the camel back. So at some point in time, that mousy person you've been picking on for several years gets the nerve to hit you in your damn face, gets the nerve to pick up something and hit you with, or shoot you, or stab you, or do something, then all of a sudden that guy's the bad guy. No, that guy ain't the bad guy. You've been messing with this guy, for 2 years or 3 years, or how long you've been messing with him.
It seems to be a two-edged sword, because right now we've been told from the media is that if there's the lying
media.
If you listen to the media, if a white cop kills a black man, that systematic racism and social injustice must be applied. But if black people kill black people, the media is quiet. That doesn't matter. You got wait a minute.
But it's not flashy news. That's what it's not.
Eddie, that's it. But lives are being lost. A life is a life. I don't know what color it is. It's still life.
It's not that it don't matter. It's not flashy, sensationalized news. Because it happens every day,
and we're the crazy ones, folks.
And it ain't just black folks killing black folks, and that pisses me off more than anything else. Because white folks kill white folks every day all over the world. Asian people, Hispanic, everybody.
But the media don't want to talk about that. That's not popular.
Well, what I'm telling you, that's why it's not talked about. It ain't that it don't happen.
Human beings are human beings. Doesn't matter the color.
But again, we back to black on black crime. Well, shit. Excuse me. There's white on white crime.
Hispanics on Hispanics. Yeah, it happens. Right.
Asian.
But
Jews,
the TV don't talk about it. The media don't talk about it.
Everybody kills folks closest to them more often than they do anybody else.
That's terrible.
That's the nature of mankind. That's what happens.
That's not good, Eddie.
And so again, I know it's a heated subject. I didn't want to get everybody upset and riled up, but it's that time again.
Pray, turn off the TV, open up the Bible.
So until next week, again, we kept it good for as long as we could.
Oh yeah.
And we had to have that conversation. Until next week, same bat time, same bat station, Tampa Bay. We love you here in Porch Talk Radio.
God bless America.
Bye bye. See ya.